In this short video, I'm gonna give you an intro on how to use MDB CLI, so MDB command line. We're gonna start with MDB help, which is gonna show us all available options. And as you can see, the usage of MDB command line is as follows. So you type MDB and then you define either entity. Sometimes you can skip it, then command, so what would you like to do with it, and then some optional arguments and flags. So what entities you can use in MDB CLI? Basically, entities are distinguished for front-end and back-end entities. So as you can see, we have a front-end over here, and we also have a back-end projects. So what does it mean? This means that you can build your front-end project and then deploy it to a server as well as backend. So if you want to use PHP project, you want to build PHP application or Node.js application, you can initialize a backend and define that you want to use Node.js and specific version of Node.js, and then you can deploy it to MDB Go with simple publish command, which you can see already here. So these are like the very basics options. So we can have a front end and back end, and we're gonna have a separate video on that. Then next to that, for the front end, you can have some options. So you can have a blank project, so it's going to be like empty project without any libraries, or you can have a starter. So we prepared for you predefined starters, which consist of some libraries like MDB, and you can simply initialize a project which will already have these libraries included. Obviously, for front and back for front-end projects, we do support JavaScript, jQuery, Angular, React, Vue. As far as backend is concerned, we do support PHP and Node.js. You can also initialize a WordPress project, which means that it's gonna initialize for you, and then again either predefined theme, which is like a basic structure, basic template, which you're gonna fill and update, or just an empty template, so you could start building your own theme. So basically, this is something which you use, which you put under your WP content/themes. So if you have WordPress locally, then you can initialize this project locally, and then you can publish it, and this will create a WordPress instance for you and use this theme as a main theme on your WordPress instance. Other than that, we have a database, so you can have your own databases, and then again we do support MySQL and MongoDB. So depending which one we would like to use, you can have either one of the on the other. You can also have a repo, so which is very important. So for each project, regardless whether it's front end or back end, you can have repo attached. So that makes it much easier to collaborate with others. That makes it easy to keep track of your project. So for each project, you can either store it as a files on the FTP, or you can have a repo, and we're gonna show you that in the further videos. And then finally, you have some configuration for each app. So basically each project is a kind of app, so which you can configure. You can have see the list of your orders if you purchased some pro components or pro templates before. Then app, so if you are running backend apps like Node.js or PHP, you can start, restart them, check the logs, and finally you can manage user, so yourself, changing password and so on. Then for the commands, we already talked about some of them, so just quickly going through them. Help will always show you this screen or some specific screens for a certain entity or command. Update will update your CLI to the newest version. Version is showing you the latest version. Register, login and logout, obviously you use to start using MDB and CLI. So if you don't have account, you would have to register first. Then once you have account, you can just log in and log out. ls will basically list different entities. So if you have started backend WordPress whatsoever, you can list all of them. Init will initialize them, so it's gonna create this project, this entity locally on your machine. Publish will send it to our servers, and then for publish, as you can see by default, it will publish our project as a front-end one. And if we want to publish backend or WordPress, we would have to specify entity. So we will have MDB backend publish. That's gonna publish it as a backend or WordPress. Then get. This allows you to download your project. So if you're moving to the other computer, your laptop, and you can log into CLI with your username and password, and that will allow you to download your project to your local computer. Info, that will display some information on your apps and projects. Delete, obviously, will remove it. So if you want to get rid of some app, you can simply delete it. Kill will stop a project. So if we're talking about the Node.js or PHP, it will basically stop execution. Destroy will it's actually same as kill, so pretty much the same. Logs will show you the log for the server. So if there are some errors on Node.js application or a PHP, you're gonna see the errors here. And finally, rename allows you to rename your project, so change the name. And also, as far as the config is concerned, you can also, to add to each and every project, you can add your custom domain. I'm gonna have another video on how to add your custom domain to project hosted on MDB CLI. So this is a quick wrap up, and now let's move to next tutorial.